The medical bay of the Zenith Accord hummed with the soft vibration of 1,000 diagnostic instruments, each one calibrated to analyze the biological specimens of over 400 known sentient species. Dr. Vexthor, a Calithian xenobiologist with crystalline skin that refracted the sterile blue light into dancing rainbows, stared at his display terminal with what could only be described as profound confusion. "This cannot be correct," he muttered, his three-fingered hand tapping rapidly across the holographic interface. Beside him, Chief Medical Officer Sarnell, a towering Dravian whose chitinous exoskeleton gleamed like polished obsidian, leaned closer to examine the readout. "What seems to be the problem, Doctor?" "The human's tissue sample," Vexthor said, gesturing toward the containment chamber where a microscopic piece of skin floated in suspension. "The genome scanner has stopped. Look at this error message." Sarnell's compound eyes focused on the flashing red text. "Error. Sample displays self-replication. Process terminated to prevent contamination." Self-replication? Sarnell's mandibles clicked in bewilderment. "But the human is sitting right there. The sample is clearly dead tissue. We removed it ourselves." In the corner of the medical bay, sitting on an examination table with his legs dangling over the edge, Marcus Webb, the sole human aboard the Zenith Accord, looked up from the data pad he'd been reading. "Problem, Docs?" Vexthor turned to face him, his expression cycling through several colors that indicated deep scientific concern. "Mr. Webb, your tissue sample is replicating. The cells are dividing, autonomously, without any external stimulation." Marcus glanced at the readout, then shrugged. "Yeah, that's normal. Skin cells do that." The two alien physicians exchanged glances that communicated volumes of shared confusion. "Normal?" Sarnell stepped closer, his voice dropping to a concerned rumble. "Mr. Webb, are you aware that cellular division in dead tissue is typically associated with necromantic pathogens, invasive parasites, or catastrophic genetic instability?" "In dead tissue?" Marcus tilted his head. "Doc, those cells aren't dead. They're just not attached to me anymore." Vexthor's skin flashed a brilliant orange, the Calithian equivalent of a dropped jaw. "But we severed them from your body 17 minutes ago. Without nutrients, without oxygen circulation, without neural guidance." "Yeah, but they don't die instantly," Marcus interrupted, scratching his chin. "Skin cells can hang around for a while. They've got their own little energy reserves. They'll keep doing their thing for a bit before they actually kick the bucket." Sarnell moved to the containment chamber, peering at the sample with renewed horror. "You're telling me that your cellular structures maintain autonomous function after being separated from the central organism?" "Well, not forever," Marcus said reasonably. "Give it a few hours, maybe a day, and they'll be done. But yeah, for a while they just keep on keeping on." Vexthor began typing frantically, pulling up comparative data. "This is unprecedented. Among all cataloged species, cellular death occurs within seconds of separation from the primary organism. The Jorethi hold the record at 47 seconds, and they're considered biological anomalies." He looked up at Marcus with something approaching awe. "Your cells continue functioning for hours?" "Some longer than that," Marcus admitted. "Hair and nails can technically keep growing for a couple days after someone dies. Something about the cells not getting the memo right away." The color drained entirely from Vexthor's crystalline skin. "After death? Your component cells continue their programmed functions after the termination of brain activity?" "As always," Marcus said with a slight smile. Sarnell backed away from the containment chamber as if the sample might attack him. "This is a horror. An absolute horror. How do your people live with this knowledge?" Marcus laughed. "Live with what? That we're made of tough stuff?" "Doc, this is actually pretty useful. It's part of why we heal so well. While other species are waiting for new cells to arrive at an injury site, ours are already there, already working, already patching things up." Vexthor was pulling up more files, his movements becoming increasingly agitated. "This explains so much about the human medical reports. The speed of your healing, the resistance to cellular degradation, the ability to survive catastrophic injuries that would kill most species through simple cellular shock." He turned to Marcus with wide eyes. "You're not just resilient. Your body is a collective of semi-autonomous units that refuse to stop functioning even when logic dictates they should." "That's metal as hell when you put it that way," Marcus said, grinning. "But yeah, basically, we're stubborn all the way down to the cellular level." Sarnell was reviewing the data himself now, his mandibles clicking rhythmically, a sign of deep thought among his people. This has significant implications for human combat effectiveness. An injury that would incapacitate another species through cellular trauma might only slow a human down. The affected area would continue fighting, continue functioning, continue living even as it was damaged. We do have a reputation for being hard to kill, Marcus acknowledged. Vexthor had moved past shock into scientific fascination. I need to run more tests. If human cellular autonomy extends this far, what about other systems? Do your organs continue functioning after brain death? Can separated limbs maintain temperature? How long can— Whoa. Marcus held up his hands. I'm happy to help with science, but let's not get too excited about chopping bits off me. I'm attached to all my parts, and apparently they're pretty attached to staying alive whether I'm around or not. The two alien doctors looked at each other, then back at Marcus, and in that moment, they understood something fundamental about humanity. These weren't beings who simply refused to die. They were beings whose every component refused to die. From the grandest scale to the smallest, humans were built with one primary directive: survive. As always. Vexthor murmured, finally understanding the human's earlier words. Not just a casual phrase, but a fundamental truth about his species. Marcus Webb smiled, slid off the examination table, and walked toward the door. Behind him, the tissue sample in the containment chamber continued its cellular division, each microscopic piece carrying on with stubborn, indefatigable human persistence. As always,